Hey, good day. Hi, this is Greg Luss. I'm City Manager in Lebanon. Welcome again to our show, Lebanon in Depth. We're very happy as we continue working with our show. We hope it to be part of our real big goal. We're trying to get citizen involvement and participation in the City of Lebanon government in your community, and this is one aspect of it. I hope you'll find, as always, that there's some information that you'll gain from the show. It also gives you a point of contact for the City of Lebanon, knowing the city manager. One of the things I always mention at the beginning of the show is we're really trying to use what we have on the website, which is Lebanon Community Connect. So if you have a comment or a suggestion or a concern or a complaint, go onto our website, lebcity.com, and when you go on there, you'll see that there's a link that'll say Lebanon Community Connection. It's a nice little logo thing. You click on that thing, and it'll give you an opportunity to express your concern or comment, and you can send it off, and it goes to the appropriate person that should receive the nature of your concern. If that isn't responded to within a certain period of time, 3 days, then it also bubbles up on my screen and my computer at my office. So there is this kind of monitoring, and we can collect information this way and find out where maybe there are issues we need to really focus on, as if there's a number of concerns being expressed by a particular subject area. So we really appreciate if you would try to use Lebanon Connect. Here we are. This is the very busy summer. The city of Lebanon is really vibrant. There's so many things going on. I hope many of you were able to take advantage of the celebration, the 250th anniversary celebration, and I hope many of you had a chance to see the ceremony that was held for the Patriot flag on the 4th of July. I was moved to tears as to that flag and the people how they reacted to it. It's just the whole event there. There was a lot of people expressing their feelings and their commitment to all the things that the Patriot flag stands for. One thing we're looking for is we're looking for citizens who took pictures at that day. So if you've taken some pictures at that day, please kind of make sure you remember us. We're going to set up something on our website where you could send the pictures to us. So on our website, we're kind of gathering pictures that people took the day, and we're going to pick one of those pictures to make it, and we're going to try to blow it up and make it into a framed picture of the flag as it's set in front of the City Hall. And as it's set in front of City Hall, I think it was a beautiful expression of the United States, the City of Lebanon, your community. And so we're looking for the best picture possible, and we hope citizens who took pictures that day could share them with us. We're also thinking that we might collect some of those pictures and put them in kind of a montage of different things that happened that day, and to show all the vitality of what was happening in the green in front of City Hall, as well as what was happening with the flag and those who participated in the ceremony. So I hope you're having a good 4th of July week. I really am. I've enjoyed this week immensely. I still have to pinch myself each morning to think that I'm able to live in a place like Lebanon, where there's so much to offer all of us, and I just enjoy every new item I find. As a person that came to the community only within the last 5 months, I'm always seeing new things and really some really wonderful things. Today, we want to take a moment, as the City Council has, in recognizing our employee. We have employees who are going through, after long years of service, of great service, and when they have opportunity and they retire, we like to make special mention of them. And I want to make special mention today, in honor, as the City Council has, Peter M. Lindsay. Mr. Lindsay, it should be properly called Lieutenant Lindsay. He has devoted himself to a career in public service, and he has served as a lieutenant of the Lebanon Fire Department since January 20th, 1986. So it's a beautiful, wonderful career by Mr. Lindsay. He has just shown outstanding leadership capabilities. He's played a really integral part of keeping our fire department breathing apparatus are ready. He is great. He has great technical skills, great commitment. He expresses himself. He looks forward to every day when he goes on as a firefighter. He is going to continue to be an active firefighter with the department, but he's retiring as our lieutenant. So again, we want to congratulate Peter M. Lindsay for his long service. The council honors him. I think everybody that works for Lebanon would honor him. Shows you what we have, some really fine employees with our city. I'm real proud of them. There's 172 positions, so I'm very proud that we have so many great people. The council has taken up a subject of franchise ordinance, and I wanted to share with you today a little bit about that subject. Currently, Comcast is in our community, and Comcast is here as our principal provider with regards to cable television, to our internet, and the things they do provide. We don't have a formal franchise agreement with Comcast. In the past, the city, a very long time ago, passed a resolution that provided previous and prior providers of cabling services with a resolution that set forth some ability on the part of those early companies to provide services in our community. In a modern way of doing business, you have to have a franchise agreement, and so we really want we really want Lebanon to be very current in all that we do, and so that's why the City Council has expressed a priority to looking at the franchise agreement. I have done a review for the council and have shared with the council, and the council has discussed now the subject. It's not a simple matter of franchise. It's like not an overnight kind of thing. We can just do a franchise. There are important rights on the part of Comcast and the part of the city that's going to need to be evaluated and negotiated between the two parties if we're going to pursue a franchise agreement. The federal law on cable television provides guidance and rules and regs on how we do this. And so if we're going to do that, it would entail engaging. You have to have somebody with a specialty, a specialized attorney who basically does most of that attorney's practice in the area of negotiating with Comcast. And to do that, that would require an expenditure of anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000 are the estimates. So that's a substantial investment by the community in looking at and seeking to bring about a franchise agreement. Why would you want a franchise agreement? Well, a franchise agreement comes with the question of fees. Franchise fees would be owed the city and paid through the franchise agreement, and they would be paid through persons that were receiving services having a franchise fee on their bill. That fee would become a source of revenue that then the city could use at its discretion based on the policy direction of the City Council. One of those items they might use it for is to help fund the city's contribution to the CATV TV that so graciously helps us each week each time we do a show here. So that could be a possible funding for the contribution of the city to the CATV. The other fees that were left over could be used for other things that the city might find in the public interest. There's also an issue of whatever Comcast does in its area of work in the public right-of-way would have some guidelines and guidance. What access the city and its city components might have to Comcast services would be another issue. We'd be also looking at access for families or individuals who presently do not have, are not able to receive Comcast services. When you get into that area, it starts into a negotiation over what's the density of the population within the area in which the persons reside, and what the cost sharing arrangement would be. So at the end of the day, when you do have a franchise, it usually ends up in a situation that if you live in a sparsely populated, very less dense area, that you as an owner and someone who wishes the service would have to pay a share for the extension of your service. So it costs you more than if you were living in a populated area that was not a less dense area. So there's lots of complications. So after hearing that, the council is considering, we have so many issues financially going on with the downshifting by the state of costs. we don't know what all the choices might be in this next 4 or 5 months, because we're only discovering certain elements as we become more aware of what the state has done in terms of passing costs down to the city, and which in turn gets passed to the local property tax owners. So there is some concerns about making any allocation of $20,000 and $30,000 at this point, when there may be other important areas that'll need funding. So the council basically did not move forward to the direction to proceed to get the franchise, but asked that there be further information brought back, and later this in the next couple of months, as maybe we'll become more aware of some of the consequences we have in terms of our financial challenges. And then we'll probably bring in the proposed specialist attorney to at least talk to the council, receive their questions, and be able to receive comments about the services and get clarity. So that's a big issue here in franchises, and we believe that it's something important to consider. It's been long pending as a priority. One other thing I'll mention in this segment that I think is really an opportunity for citizens to get involved. We're accepting now people who would like to seek memberships to the Muskoma River Local Advisory Board. And if you're interested in this subject, there will be a form placed on the website of the city. And that form will ask you to fill it out. And in that form, it would be whether you're interested in serving on this local advisory board. You know how important the Muskoma River is in our community. I mean, we're a community around rivers, and Muskoma's advisory board would help and provide some guidance. This program is created to protect rivers. So if you served on this advisory board, you would be involved in trying to develop policy and recommendations to protect the Muskoma River. So in the actual application, and in terms of your interest in protecting the Muskoma River, you'll have to be asked to kind of identify kind of what part of our community do you believe you would be representing. And in that engagement, you would look like we're looking for somebody that maybe live along the river. I think that would be very good. Somebody that's really involved in management plan preparation. Someone that is involved in public education. Somebody that's involved in grant writing, because you need to write grants to bring funds to help protect the Muskoma River. Somebody that's used to committee administration, and there's a good commitment here. So like everything, but it's always the old story of those who show up are those who really have the chance to contribute to their community. So you'd be having to consider attending monthly meetings. The meetings could be on mostly weeknights. And so you'd have to be looking at those kind of commitments that you would have. I think that that's a good opportunity. We will kind of close in the segment with some reflection on what we're engaged in right now. Number one, we're still working on planning and zoning. We got some major projects. We are again looking at the candidates for planning and zoning director. We found another group that we're vetting. And we're engaged very much in the budgeting. We're trying to move forward on the budgeting. Our departments have all been given their instructions to try to see if we can live within the 2011 budget, see how close we can come to that. And they have to file that on August 14th. And then I will take it over from August 14th with our financial director, Lynn Jarvie, and I will work with the department budget teams right through October 1st as we try to serve the community, try to find a way to match the resources that we need with the requirements that we follow and that were imposed upon us by the state, and that we kind of self-select here locally. So there's a lot of activity. I look forward to continuing our shows. We are going to have some additional kind of media development that I'll keep you informed as we go. And with that, I want to thank you for joining this segment. We're going to have our next segment on codes. So look forward to that section. Well, welcome back. We are here for our next segment, which is going to be on codes. And Carmel and I, we see each other quite a bit in City Hall, and we have a really great working relationship between Carmela and a really great planning and zoning staff. And Carmela is our acting planning and zoning director. And Carmela, why don't you start off? Let's talk a little. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself for the people at home and your background?
Okay. I'm Carmela Hennessy. I moved to New Hampshire about 34 years ago. I was fortunate enough to get a job with the City of Lebanon 34 years ago.
Incredible, 34 years. That's
and
great.
I'm still there. So obviously, I enjoy my job.
Yeah. You must enjoy this community too.
I do. It's a great community, great residents.
Really good, really good. Then, in terms of your have you always been in codes, or have you been other places in the
city? I basically have been involved in planning, zoning, and building since I came here. Started in the city manager's office, transferred to the building and assessing department. From there, went to the planning department, all very interrelated.
Yes, great.
Advanced to planning secretary, planning aide, zoning administrator, codes enforcement director.
Great.
And that's really my position right now is a codes director, acting planning and zoning director while you're searching.
Because we're still searching for a new planning and zoning director, and Carmel has really been helpful to me to hold the fort down as we try to go through the process of finding a new director. Talk a little bit about who works in codes.
Codes basically involves everything from the zoning ordinance to the building codes, and I think today we're going to focus more on the building end of things.
Yes.
So I kind of call that the codes division. We have Chief Building Inspector Calvin Honeywell, a backup building inspector, I shouldn't say backup, second building inspector is Brad Shaw, and we have a part-time electrical inspector. We also have a full-time administrative secretary, Leanne Cushman, and a part-time department secretary, Crystal Adams. And their job is mainly to focus on the building permit process.
And when I talk to them, I got to know them now, just because of the way this has worked out, where we have an absent director position. And they are it's just fascinating how much they know about how buildings should be and what's the right thing to do, how to do it, and the technical requirements that they have, and they know a lot about building. So that's really fascinating how skillful they are and knowledgeable they are about all these rules. Could you describe how do they work? I mean, what's the nature of their work?
Well, codes and building codes is really all about safety. So, the main focus is public safety. The building department does plan review as well as site inspections. And it's a pretty busy place right now, especially in the summer. The building inspectors will take in applications through the department. The secretaries and administrative assistants set up the files. I review them for the zoning information, and if I'm satisfied they pass zoning, then they go on to the building inspectors. But that's really not the end of the story. We also have to funnel the applications to the fire department, the public works department, and the planning department. So codes is really kind of a hub where everything starts. We have one-stop shopping. You can come to our office, get